Tyler, congratulations. Holy cow, the big win after 5 nominations. Congratulations, Album of the Year.
Yep, the big win. Thanks.
So I did a little research and I see you started your career with Jeff Basker and had a couple nominations as an engineer. But I wanted to ask, did you go to college? Any formal training?
I didn't go to college for music. I went to college actually for political science, and I was kind of on the path to be. I was wanting to be a lawyer, but while at school, Azusa Pacific University, I was actually part of like the jazz band. I took a lot of piano lessons, and I definitely was. I've been into music since I was very young, and been writing songs since I was very young. I actually wrote kind of our class's graduation song from Steamboat Springs High School. So it's been a pretty long relationship with music. However, and I found formal training through kind of like lessons and being around things, but I never was a music major anywhere or anything like that. But there's a lot of ways of learning that don't require you to have a college degree when it comes to music. So
Absolutely. I have a college degree that I don't use.
yeah, I think it's common.
But and that was actually the recon that folks that I spoke to here in Steamboat was that you were always the kid that was in the music room.
Yeah, I definitely was very into songwriting from an early age, and all of high school I wrote songs, and then really got into it in college, and but it all clicked into something that felt much more usable and something that I was much more capable of turning into a career after meeting Jeff Basker, and he really shepherded me into a position that got me to where I am now. So
Outstanding. And so, yeah, that first nomination with Jeff as an engineer on Taylor Swift's Red album, and then with Ed
yes,
Sheeran, the
yes,
second nomination a year later.
yep.
But you find yourself in pretty elite company, only 65 annual Grammy Awards. And so obviously we've got a couple of repeat winners in there from year over year, but pretty elite company. How does that feel?
I mean, that part of it's so surreal, and I think you have to kind of take it just in stride. And I feel very like fortunate for being recognized. It's definitely a dream come true, but also something that I take slightly with a grain of salt, because I know that this doesn't mean that the music is better than other music, or that it's more deserving or anything like that. It's just a very appreciated recognition along the way. And I, because I don't think you can judge art as, it's not like a sport. And I think that there haven't only been 67 good albums in the last 67 years. There's been thousands and hundreds of thousands. And so, though it is appealing, there's also a lot of people who haven't won that award that I think are absolutely incredible. So it's complex, but I just feel very grateful.
Well stated, and kind of echoing Harry's awards speech where, he said, how do you rate first place? It's everybody
Yeah.
that was nominated is definitely worthy and could have won. But, you guys did. So congrats again.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I saw the article in the Steamboat Pilot here last week and kind of talked about discovering Cam and utilizing her talents to kind of prove yourself as being attached to a project that was from an unknown as opposed to an already established superstar. And how did you discover Cam?
She was the girlfriend of my roommate.
There you go. All
And
right.
and then we just started writing songs together, and then I one day showed Jeff the beginning of Burning House, and he's like, I'd love to finish that with you guys. And next thing we knew, we had a #1 song. So, and my wife manages Cam, and my wife met Cam through me. It's all a very, and Cam is actually married to one of my close friends from college. So we're kind of like a very tight knit little family. So, but yeah, it was just a
Absolutely.
random thing. It wasn't even meant to be anything, but she always just had that edge that you need as an artist. She just always had
Sure,
the
sure.
voice, and she has the drive, and she's, super intelligent and has so much talent, and so it was all about just everything falling into place, you know.
Very serendipitous.
Yeah, very.
Excellent. So growing up in Steamboat, it's got that mix of ski community, artistic community, and then the ranching that kind of keeps everybody on the level. How did you find growing up in Steamboat as far as nourishing the artist within?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, I love the fact that there's an outdoorsiness to me. I'm very proud of that. Snowmobiling, skiing, hunting, fishing makes me feel it's some of my favorite stuff to do, and I love that part of me. And I love that I've spent so much time out in situations that are extreme, and I've made a ton of friends, and it's a very supportive community. And also, I've never really thought about this, but now that we're talking about it, I also think that being in close proximity to like Olympians is kind of a whole thing. Being
Hmm.
being near such all like high performing individuals, and they're just like your friends. I think that changes the way that you kind of view the world and what is possible. So
Well said, and it's exactly where my mind was going. It kind of opens up the doors to, well, what if? Why can't I break down that door?
yeah.
Uh, so you actually already answered one of the questions that I was going to follow up with. Growing up in Steamboat, skier or rider, but you said you're a skier.
Oh, I'm both though now. I like was back
Okay.
over Christmas because my parents still lived there, and I a couple days did skiing, a couple days did boarding. So, and I grew up playing
Nice.
hockey too, so I kind of the whole thing. It's great.
Well rounded. Outstanding. Well, I've got a daughter that's also an artist. We moved from the Chicagoland area, and that was also something that we really appreciated about Steamboat was that the artistic community is more, instead of let me crawl over you to my ladder to the top, it's more let me guide you, let me take you by the hand and collaborate with you and introduce you. Was that the way it was when you were coming through?
I mean, people are just so like kind and gracious in Steamboat. So yes, it's a small town, and people just really act accordingly to small town kind of ethics. So it's great, and a huge
Outstanding.
part of my success. So
Outstanding. So what's next? What's on the horizon? You just had the Miley Cyrus single "Blow Up."
yeah, we've got a few songs on her album coming out, and then I'm working on Leon Bridges' album, and doing another album with Cam, and that's about it. Just I day after the Grammys, I was back in the studio, and that's kind of how it is. So
I was also going to ask, any vacation plans, if you anticipated the win but you answered it right there. Back to the grindstone. I love it.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, at some point, wife and I are gonna take a really nice vacation this year, but it has to be very planned out. But I do want to take some time off. I think that is important. So
absolutely. And well deserved, Tyler. I mean, from
thanks.
humble beginnings here in Steamboat Springs to the dream job of a lifetime to the culmination of where you're at today. A very heartfelt congratulations. I
Thank you.
can't speak enough about what your blueprint does for other artists, including my daughter. It's just amazing that people from Steamboat doing great things out in the world and giving back to the community, and just it's an amazing story and well deserved.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to have me on.
Absolutely, and thank you for taking your time, man. It's you're probably in high demand, so I really appreciate you taking a few moments with our little network here in Steamboat.
Yeah, I mean, anything for Steamboat.
Outstanding.
Join us every morning on Mountain Mornings.
So we've got opening day today.
I'm over here at Keystone Resort, and they've had some fresh snow.
So a lot of things going on. We bring you the best of the mountains every morning with insights from locals, the latest events, activities, gear, live mountain weather, and traffic. Watch Denver's only mountain-focused morning show, Mountain Morning, right here on Mountain TV.